just kind of, it's a very dramatic announcement, but we're going to go ahead and get started. We will be sharing this with anyone who wasn't able to make it today, but I know that we're also going to have people joining us as we go. So you'll see people kind of popping in as we keep going, and that is wonderful. You're welcome to throw some questions in the chat. If you don't know where the chat is, it's down at the bottom, it'll say more, and then there'll be a chat section that you can join in and just ask questions there if you don't want to interrupt. Hi, Nick, welcome. I see Renee and Ann and Kim are here as well. Michelle, Dave, Sam's in the other room. She's my coworker. And if you're not a chamber, and Cheyenne, she's our intern. She's our wonderful best intern, and she's here and helping today. So if you're not a chamber,
our best worker is going to get to watch the video. She said she wants to join the meeting and listen in. So she's going to sit with me today.
Great.
Yeah, Cheyenne's been awesome. So that's kind of how this program came up. We were talking about how awesome it's been that we've been able to have interns join us in our office. We've had several over the years, and just been a wonderful experience. And we're like, every business needs to know that. And Tammy, right around the same time, reached out to me and said, hey, is there a way we could share this information? And we just put it together into this workshop. And right now, you know, everyone is looking for employees and options for that. So it was perfect timing. So a couple things real quick before we get started. If you're not a chamber member, that is okay. We love you. We're glad to have you. We want to help your business grow. But we also believe that if you get participating in all of our programming, at some point, you're going to think this is absolutely awesome and you're going to want to join the chamber. So we will follow up with a membership packet that talks about all of the things that you get out of your chamber membership. So be looking for that in your email afterwards. We have a lot of really cool events coming up, and so that's going to come in your follow-up email too, but I just wanted to kind of tell you, this is what it'll look like. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So the two most important ones that I wanted to share about today is that we're going to have a small business collective, which is this, but we're going to be meeting in person the next time, and it's August 12th at 10 o'clock. And it's going to be here at the community building and chamber office. And we're going to be talking about customer service and retention. Everybody wants more customers. And we want to keep our customers. And so we're going to kind of talk through some things that are working locally. We're going to have some guest presenters join us and give you guys some strategies to do that. Then we have a marketing collective. So they're different titles for different kind of focus ideas. And we're going to be talking about scheduling social media for dynamic interaction. So there's a lot there. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about having a schedule and making sure that what we're posting is getting people to engage and involved with the posts that we have. So that's coming up on October. I'm sorry, I fast forwarded way too far. August 2nd, August 24th at 2 p.m. Let me read that again. The marketing collective on social media is August 24th at 2 p.m. And then you'll see there's a whole bunch of things that are coming up for community events. We have one more that's probably going to be added here in the near future, but kind of moving away from that idea, I am going to move into our program and just welcome everybody, kind of what we started with to begin with. If you have the ability, we would like to see you, your camera on, and we'd like you to interact verbally as much as possible. These are interactive discussions, so we're going to hear information and be able to interact and ask a lot of questions. So we love to see your faces if we can. And you can use the chat box to share any questions or ideas as we go, and then we'll share those into the group as we're ready. So here's the good news. I'm going to be introducing our friends from Business Employment Skills Team. Most people in the area would recognize the name as BEST. It's a perfect acronym for them. It is a WIOA funded jobs and training program, and it covers 8 counties in our area. So it really covers a lot of people in a lot of places. So today, the people that are going to present with us is Tammy Nearcorn, and I've gotten to know Tammy over quite a number of years here at the Chamber, and she is an excellent wealth of information for our community. But she is the business relations representative for Whiteside County, which is our county, Carroll and Joe Davies County for BEST. And she works on contracts, employment, job skills, technical assistance, and that's all for our business community. So Tammy, give us a wave. This is Tammy. And then Nicole Teller is the apprenticeship program navigator, and she works with the apprenticeship program. She's able to assist in starting apprenticeship programs and offer continued support once those programs are launched with your business. So say hi, Nicole.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm going to just go ahead and transfer this over to you guys. Tell us how we can find some new employees to be a part of our team and all the wonderful resources that you have available to our community.
I will start. And Bethany, thank you for allowing us to participate in this event. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody who came to this event too. I know every day we all become more and more busy, so I appreciate your time as well. So thank you. I am Tammy Nierkorn. I am with BEST. I am the business relations person, and I cover Whiteside, Carroll, and Joe Daviess County. As Bethany said, we do have 8 counties. We also have Lee, Ogle, Putnam, LaSalle, and Bureau County as well. So we kind of have a very large area. I'm going to talk just a little bit about some of our various programs. Then we're going to do questions, but you can always ask me questions throughout as well. Then we're going to go to Nicole. She's going to talk about apprenticeship and then questions. Then I'm going to kind of wrap everything up with some of our business services. But I think what I'm going to talk about first is our work experience program. With work experience, basically, the way that works is we cover wages and workers' compensation for somebody who's eligible for BEST services. So say, for example, you hire somebody, or you have an employee or a person that you think might be a good fit for us, they can't be hired. We have to approve them pre-hire. But let's say you have somebody that you think is a good fit, or we have somebody who is interested in learning more about your business. What we would do is talk to you about that, figure out if they are eligible. And again, we can do a reverse referral as well. Sometimes we have the people and we come to you. Sometimes you may have somebody that you think might be eligible and you come to us. And so we screen them for eligibility. If they are eligible with the work experience, like I said, we pay up to 29 hours of their pay per week, and we pay whatever you pay. So if you pay $15 an hour, that's what we pay, as well as we cover their workers' comp. So this is a great way for businesses to get to know an employee, provide them with training and on-the-job experiences for them to learn those work skills while not necessarily having to put out a salary. You also get the advantage of having people help them, not only myself, but their career advisor who can help them with any job skills or any coaching that they may need. We all work together as a team for the employees. So it's a very, very nice program. And we've really seen a lot of our employees thrive going through that. And technically with work experience, they are a BEST employee. So their check would come from us. We typically have it sent to the workplace if that's okay. There may be some situations where we don't do that, but typically we have the check sent to the workplace and they get their check. So that's kind of how that program works. It's a little bit different from having an adult worker to having a youth worker. We still pay the 29 hours. You still have the workers' comp covered, but there are some positions and things that somebody in our youth program may not be allowed to do that somebody in our adult program could. So there are a few differences. So let's say a company is interested. What do I do to get started on this? First of all, give me a call. I will go through and we will have one of our career advisors screen somebody. If we have somebody on hand, if you have a reverse referral, somebody that you'd like to hire that you think might be a good fit, you can also send them our way and we'll screen them to determine if they're eligible. And that can be a number of things, such as somebody who's out of the workforce because they were laid off, for example, or somebody who may be economically disadvantaged, and there are some other criteria too. But that's something the career advisor takes care of. Once they're determined eligible, then we write a contract. And I would say our paperwork is fairly easy. I'm not a worksite though, but Bethany, do you think our paperwork's pretty easy?
Yeah, super easy. So just kind of my experience, I thought this would be a good time, if you don't mind, I'll share kind of what our experience was, especially when you reference reverse referral. So Cheyenne, as she waved earlier on Sam's camera, she is somebody that's working for us as a BEST employee. She was somebody that was volunteering her time before. She is in high school. And we felt like we would love to have her on our team. However, we didn't have any positions open to hire somebody directly for that. And I talked to Tammy and I said, would she qualify for being a part of this program? And she said, met with Cheyenne, and absolutely she did. So I know you kind of gave some markers as to what you look for to be a qualifying person. But for us, kind of knowing a little bit about that, I was pretty sure Cheyenne would qualify. She wasn't working somewhere else and was looking to kind of build her skills as a young person. And so Cheyenne's been a part of our team. We did sign some paperwork. I would say in my experience, and I hope this doesn't offend you, but it reminded me of kind of signing the paperwork that I've done when I've had like a temporary person for Manpower. Cheyenne is technically an employee of Best, but I also tell her what to do, when to do it, where to be, what our dress code is, what our policies are, and she follows all of those things as we would expect a regular employee in our office to do. And if I had a problem, I could either tell Cheyenne that directly, or I could go to Tammy and say, hey, Tammy, I'm having an attendance issue. I'd like you to address that with her, or maybe we need to terminate this employment. With it not affecting our workers' comp, that's a big deal because, kind of trying out a situation, sometimes you're not really sure if that employee is a right fit, and this might be an opportunity for them to learn about your place of employment as you get to know each other too. So the other experience I had was with a person that was older, and the business that she was a part of closed down, and she was looking to transfer from basically working in a factory office setting, which is very different than like a business office setting. She was also going to school to get her accounting degree. And so she was looking to move into a position like that. And so we trained her on a lot of the soft skills that she wasn't experiencing in that factory environment, but she also covered a lot of situations that we needed help with as well. So she was a great employee for us. And I know there's some time limits as far as how long you can keep somebody. I know that there's some process if you feel like this is a person that you want to permanently hire to your team, that you can do to kind of get them into that position as well. So I just thought that was a good place to share that you can recruit somebody that you think is qualified for this program. Like maybe you know somebody that's unemployed right now and you think they'd be a great fit, but you just need a little bit of help to get there. And they might need a little bit of help in training as well. Perfect for that. Maybe you're looking for somebody really specific. I know somebody who was looking for a janitor, and they Best had somebody that was like a perfect fit for that, and they connected and it worked out just great. So there's lots of different opportunities. I'll pass it back to you, Tammy, but yeah, the paperwork was the question, and the paperwork was easy. It was a 10-minute look over and 30 minutes of maybe just making sure that we understood exactly what we needed to do to make sure that the person working for us got paid, and we understood all the details of that. And you're right, with high schoolers, we need to be a little bit different job responsibilities than an adult. Like I would not have Cheyenne go out and park cars in the middle of First Avenue. Like I would not do that. But maybe there's an adult that does have the qualifications I feel comfortable with, and they would help me with parking cars at an event. So okay, back to you, Tammy.
Thanks. Thank you, Bethany, and thank you for jumping in, because I think you've actually done the paperwork as a business, so you can really understand it. Yeah, it's fairly easy. And when we write up the contracts and agreements, we try to make sure we have everything done ahead of time. We have to get a lot of information from you, but that's fairly easy to get. And then the contracts have to be signed, and the supervisory training has to be completed before they start. And that's a requirement. You also have to keep a worksite file at your office with everything that you would have in there, from not only the contracts and applications we give you, but as well as what other personnel things that you may keep as part of your business. And again, these are learning experiences. If it comes to the point where they've kind of reached all these benchmarks and they're no longer learning, then we may move them into another work experience if you're not interested in hiring them, because it is all about them learning and growing and developing skills. So that is something that we work on a lot. Again, I think with the work experience, it's it's invaluable for people to go out and actually do the job. I'm really a fan of hands-on learning anyway. That's the way I learn best. And from what we have found from our clients is they do as well. They're learning things, and they're also gaining confidence in their skills slowly by building them day by day when they go to work. So I'm a big fan of our work experience program. Some of you may remember BEST used to be called JTPA back in the day. But it's not just for youth, it's for any age. We help them. We have a lot of different services. I'm going to right now, while we're talking about job services, I'm going to talk a little bit about our OJT. Our on-the-job training is also a jobs program where a company hires someone and they are their employee, but they need on-the-job training to skill up. And an example of that would be, say, for example, a business closed and somebody needs to get skilled in a different profession. The company may hire them on under the on-the-job training program, which I will refer to as OJT, and then we will reimburse the company 50% of their wages. And that's whatever the wages are. So if you're paying them, say, a salary of, I don't know, or say a wage of $25 an hour, we would reimburse you for $12.50 of that for every day that they work. Now, we don't, even if the company pays them holidays, because we follow federal regulations, we aren't able to reimburse for that. But it's a really good program, and there's a very detailed plan that comes in. We meet monthly. We go over how they're progressing towards their skills. We also sometimes with the on-the-job training can also do a portion where we pay for some additional training. We've done that recently with some CAD computer skills that somebody needed to get, and we were able to pay for that training while they're on the job. And that really helped the business out, and it helped the client develop more marketable skills. And that's really what we're hoping for in everything we do with our clients. So for on-the-job training, yes, ma'am.
I was just going to jump in, and I'm sorry, but that is exactly what happened with one of our employees. The one I was saying, her business closed. She wanted to learn accounting. She came with us, and we did some what would be kind of like an internship with her. And as she worked through that program, she found another job that she was really excited to be a part of, but she was still working on those accounting skills. And they actually did the on-the-job training program with her, and they paid half of her salary while she worked her way into being a perfect fit for that company. So it's pretty cool to use either one of those programs. And I'll let you continue, Tammy, but I just thought that that was like really cool that it was a real life example that just worked out so great. And she's been with that company now for several years, and they absolutely loved it.
I think going on 3 years. I believe it's 3. Yeah, and it's not uncommon for a work experience, even within a company, if the company has the budget and they want to hire the person on, but there's still like major skills a person needs to learn, we can do an OJT. Again, this has to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis, and the job seeker must be qualified for BEST services. But those are some of the programs that we have directly for workers. I'm going to talk about a few other things under our universal services, but we also do training, BEST funds training. And we have an awesome training program where basically, let's say you want to go to school to be a nurse, but you need a little bit of help. Our program, if you're eligible, will help fund some of that, as well as pay for things like, say you need a stethoscope, say you need scrubs, say you need any type of equipment. If you're a welder, we have funded a lot of welders who have gone through programs at various educational facilities, and that's really helped them as well, because those welding hoods are expensive, welding gloves are expensive, and we fund that. So it's a very comprehensive training program. Any training that we fund, and it doesn't necessarily have to be at a college, it can be at a training center or what have you. It does have to be on the state of Illinois WIOA approved training, and that's something that your career advisor would work with you to do. We've also been lucky. Roger Anderson, who I work with, developed a program for nurses who were doing a practicum to write that up as a work experience, and we were able to pay them, and we paid them the rate that a nurse would be paid for that, and that gave them a little bit of income while they were going to school. They were doing the practicum anyway, and it was a really good work experience for them because they had the hands-on. So those are some of the things that we can help with. We can do career planning. And I'm going to talk about our universal services. We have a lot of services, obviously, but I'm going to talk a little bit about our universal services after Nicole is done with her presentation about apprenticeship. But I think I'd want to open it now. Does anybody have any questions? You can also contact me afterwards, and Bethany has my contact information. If you want to ask, if maybe you're not comfortable asking a question, in front of everybody, we would be glad to help you. It's a really good program, and something about best workers, we work with you. So if you get somebody and you're like, oh, they need to work on this, they need to work on that, it kind of takes the burden off the employer somewhat to have somebody else come in and help a little bit with that, because it can be daunting or it can be uncomfortable if you haven't had a lot of supervisory experience yourself. So that's something that we help with as well. We help businesses in a wide variety of ways, but if no one has any questions, I'm going to turn this over to Nicole. Some questions?
Michelle, go ahead first. Make sure you unmute yourself there, Michelle.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the question I have is there a time limit, Tammy, that people can use? And once that time limit has expired, I have worked with the JTPA years ago now, so I kind of understand where you're at. I don't know if there's been changes. Is there a time limit? And the next part of that question would be, is when that time limit should expire and you are not able to hire that person at that point, then is there some kind of throwback for us on that?
Pardon me, Michelle.
That's right.
No, but basically everything is going to be in a time frame of learning, and as they gain those benchmarks, once their work experience, for example, ends, and if the company maybe doesn't have the budget or just can't hire the person, then we would end the work experience. But no, it would not reflect on the company at all. And then we would help them hopefully gain, if they're interested in that full-time employment or other employment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so I'm thinking of little elderly individuals. Sometimes they don't have the skills I'm looking for, even though it seems like it's a really simple job. When they're here, they're the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. So they have to be able to handle all kinds of different situations. So there's a lot to train, even though it doesn't seem like there's a lot to train. And I'm always worried that if I have an individual who's picking up those skills, even though they might be able to do it, they aren't feeling comfortable to do it. And how long do we have to work with that individual?
It's based on the individual and the plan that I write something called a training plan. And so, for example, for some people, they may need a little bit more time depending on their abilities and past work experience, honestly. Right. So it just depends. It just depends. So, but we take that into consideration, and we can work with that.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me.
I know, I think that ours might have been like a year to start with Cheyenne, and then we could review, or 9 months, something like that. And then we could review and see how, she's doing and if there's more to learn. And obviously for us with the high school student and the chamber, there's going to be a lot of things that I can teach her and continue teaching her. So I think that's kind of a good question there too, just to kind of feel out what the fit is like, and that each business and that each learner might have different needs or expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dave has
something else if the worker is not working out, you are not obligated to keep them either. That's something, we try to resolve any issues, but sometimes people just aren't ready to be in a workforce yet. And that's fine. We can definitely will help them find, another work site, work with them on developing job skills and career skills. So a company is never, ever obligated to keep the person under work experience. Now, OJT, that's your, they're your employee anyway, but under work experience, if they're not working out, you do not have to keep them. If they violate, policies or whatever, no, you do not have to keep them. So that's something I want people to know too. No, you don't have to keep somebody if they're not working out. Obviously, we'd like to try to figure out those problems and resolve them if we can, but if we can't, we can definitely look for somebody else for you.
And
Well, I know we
Tammy,
had like a situation one time and I was like, hey, we are really struggling in this skill area. And you guys were able to help us, fix that. And then the employee was able to stay. So that worked out really well. So I think you're great support. Dave, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I have two businesses I'm working, and one of them's a real estate business and one's a website business, and we run them out of our home. Do we need to have office somewhere where they go and do we need to provide their equipment? I'm pretty sure I know the answers, but just got to ask them anyway.
Yeah, we do not allow the employees to work from anyone's home, and equipment like computers and things like that. No, we do not provide.
So could they work from their own home? Like, could they take assignments?
Not at this point.
Okay, just
not at this point, because again, we do adhere strictly to the federal regulations, and that is not in the regs at this point. Now, again, the workforce is evolving, so will that change in the future? It might, but part of the program is for them to have constant monitoring and mentoring to help them learn the skills. So yeah, right now that's nothing we could do. Sorry, Dave.
Okay. So in other words, I need to find an office and provide the equipment, chair, desk, and whatnot to computer in order to work. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Something else we can do. We can help people find employees even if they aren't eligible for the work experience or OJT program. So we could absolutely help you look for people who, we wouldn't be doing it through work experience. They'd be your employee and you would be paying their salary, but we absolutely could help you look for employees. So that's something that I help a lot of manufacturers with.
Kim has a question here in the chat. She says, we are an HVAC company and are interested in training with service guys, plumbers, or electricians. So she's wondering if there's any people that come to you that are interested in learning those types of trades and might be interested in working with her.
That is something that I can, Matt Gingrich is the career advisor that I work with mostly. I also work with Shelly Zinke and Sally Hanrahan too. I can talk to Matt about that to see if we have anybody in the HVAC program right off the top of my head, because usually people in HVAC and also those who are in plumbing, electrical, or welding, they usually get hired like right out of school, if not actually working while they're in school. But that's something I can look into, Kim, and I'll get your contact information and get back to you on that. I'll write myself a note.
Yeah, and I would even think you might even have people who are like kind of wanting to develop a career, but they don't know what yet. And they might be interested in doing some training that might kind of cross over and lead them towards a career path like that. I mean, I know I've met a lot of people like that where they're like, I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something, and we can get them started in a direction too.
Yeah, that'd be great. And also, Kim, Nicole may be able to help you with an HVAC apprenticeship as well. And we have done HVAC OJTs and work experience with different companies, and I know they worked out very well. They ended up hiring a person on. So it's a great field to get into. Great field.
Well, Kathy just joined us, so welcome, Kathy. We are using the chat box if you have any questions, and we'll follow up with a link to this whole program. So if you missed something, you can follow that up later. And Tammy, I think, were you ready to transfer over to Nicole, or you have anything else?
I am.
Excellent.
I am. Yep.
Thank you. That was a lot of great information, and I appreciate you letting me share some of my stories too, so people kind of.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Good, good. Okay, Nicole, your turn. Thank you.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Nicole Talier. I am the apprenticeship navigator with BEST. Not only do I cover all the counties that Tammy mentioned, but I cover all counties west to Iowa as well. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown about the apprenticeship program. And if you have any questions, please feel free to shout those out. So first and foremost, apprenticeship are specific to what a company needs. So if you are interested in such a program, it would be designed by what needs you need to fill. So apprenticeships for a business, they're going to help fill a skills gap or a workforce need. And for the apprentice themselves, it's going to provide them a pathway to a career. Basic structure, again, like I stated already, is going to be employer involvement. So that's pretty much, it's going to all be designed by you, and I'm here to assist with that. It's going to have structured on-the-job training, usually with a mentor, related training and instruction, which can either be in-house or at a school or online schooling, progressive wage increase, a skills increase, and also they will receive, once completed, a nationally recognized credentials. There are 3 types of apprenticeships. Those are time-based, which is progress measured by hours and time spent in a classroom. Competency-based, of course, is going to be progress measured by ability, applied knowledge, and skills gained. And then hybrid is obviously a combination of the two. So it'd be measured by combination of hours spent and competencies. Now, there are a few benefits with apprenticeships. Of course, you're going to build a pipeline of skilled workers. You're going to gain workers with customized skills, you'll boost retention, save money on wages, and make a positive return on an investment. And you also, right now, you may be eligible for a new apprentice education tax credit. How that works is it's first come, first served basis, and it's per apprenticeship, not per program. So it can qualify for each person that you have signed up. It can be a $3,500 credit per person. And then if they are actually in what we call as an underserved area, that can be an underserved as far as where the company is located or where the employer is located, it could be an additional $1,500. So that could be a possible $5,000 tax credit yearly for that program. The only catch with that is they do have to participate or take their education portion from an Illinois school. If for some reason, whatever it is that, you as the employer would want the employer to learn is not something that's offered in Illinois, we do have some other options as far as funding goes. I'm sure Tammy will probably mention incumbent worker training. It's something that can also help or kind of lends a nice hand to apprenticeship as well too. So like I said, the biggest thing is, to know that it's designed by you, but it's not scary. It's not completely designed by you. We have standards that are out there that we can follow and use as an example to set up such programs. And also youth apprenticeships are also a very real and upcoming thing as well too. So, and they kind of pretty much follow the same guidelines as what your adult apprenticeships will follow as well. So, I mean, there are some options as far as that goes. Does anybody have any questions right now on anything? Just trying to give a quick rundown today. I mean, I'm sure I can get into more specifics if need be, but like I said, biggest thing is to know that I'm here to help and that there is guidelines that we can follow. I would get, any employer in contact with the Department of Labor, and then we would get in contact with any training facilities from there. Most of the time, the training facilities are the ones that will find the people that will participate, but sometimes employers already have employees that are wanting to participate in such a program. So, but yeah, it's definitely something they're pushing for. And I think people like the idea of not having any student loan debt. So I think that's a big thing right now. Trust me, I'm still dealing with mine. So yeah, I think it might've been different if I was aware when I was younger. So any questions, anybody on anything? Tammy, you have anything you want to add?
I was just going to say, I couldn't agree with you more about if somebody becomes or goes into an apprenticeship program, they don't have the long-term debt that unfortunately a lot of people do have when they're going to traditional schooling. So that's just something that everybody needs to consider, as well as the trades are growing. The need for people in the trades fields, all trades, is just astronomical. As the baby boomers are retiring out of the workforce, we need more people in the trade. It's also a portable skill. If you're an electrician here in Illinois and you want to move to California, you're going to get a job.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's just a very portable, so it allows you to work and in a lot of different fields, as well as you're getting a credential. And say you want to go back to college and be an electrical engineer. Now, my brother-in-law did that years ago. That electrician credential helped him a lot, and he didn't have to take a lot of the baseline classes. So
yeah, I mean, like I was saying, to add on what she was saying, it's nationally recognized. So if obviously the tool in this is to have gain retention, but life happens, things happen. If for some reason you do end up out in California or somewhere else, as she stated, you will be able to have that nationally recognized credential. So you may not be in the same sector of work, but you will still be doing the same thing with that credential. So there's good opportunity there. And if anything, it does, it's a great bonus for the workforce as an area as a whole. So
absolutely.
Well, I think that is really great. And I feel like one of the great things about our collectives is even if something isn't like a perfect fit for your business, it's something that you now know and can share with other people in the community as far as, maybe they're looking for an apprenticeship type idea or maybe their businesses. So I feel like that's very valuable. And I'm very glad that you shared that with us today. Thank you.
And that's the other thing too, to add on what Judith said is, apprenticeships don't have to be what you think all the time. Like it doesn't have to be a carpenter. It doesn't have to be an electrician. It can be anything. I mean, we talked to somebody that was going to have a winemaker as an apprentice, things like that. I mean, it's definitely outside the box. I mean, we just did one that is agriculture based. So, I mean, it's not always, carpentry or welding or, things like that. So there's over 1,200 listed occupations right now nationally with the National Apprenticeship Program. So we could definitely find something that would be close to what an employer needs.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll let you ladies continue and keep sharing because you have so much information for us today.
Did anybody have any questions for Nicole about the apprenticeship before I start?
Okay, if not, she will give you our contact information and you can get a hold of me later.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can help businesses. We have a lot of great services for businesses. As I was speaking earlier to Dave, we were talking about helping you find an employee. We can do that even if, say, your business is not eligible for our services. We have a lot of services called universal services that that everybody is eligible for. Now, again, for our training program, for our work experience, for our OJT, there is specific criteria to be eligible for those programs. But for our universal services, especially when it comes to business services, there's a lot of things we can do. We can help you with what's called career skills. So let's say, for example, you want your employees to be trained on soft skills. That's one of the categories under career skills, customer service. We can help with that. We can help with resume writing. I just wrote within the last 12 hours 2 resumes for people over the phone, and it was easy breezy. They gave me the information. We do a lot of stuff right now over the internet, as I know everybody does. We're learning a lot of new things. The pandemic is an awful thing. but I think we are learning more efficient ways to do things during the pandemic as far as workforce. And I think that's good. I'm sure a lot of you businesses have made a lot of adaptations that have helped you be more efficient. We also can meet with businesses. Myself and Roger Anderson will meet with a business and go over some of the issues they may be having, whether it's retention or even onboarding people into the workforce, and we help them with that. We can help with a lot of different issues that businesses have. One of our programs is called Incumbent Worker Training, and it's a great program. Basically, what we will do is pay 50% of training for employees to gain a credential or to gain a skill. And again, part of that is to prevent them from being laid off. So say, for example, you have somebody who's doing draftsman work, but if they got a CAD credential, that would not only make them more employable, it would also prevent them from being laid off for your company. That is something we could work with you, and we can do 50% of the payment for that training. And that's a really, really good program. Incumbent Worker Training, it helps to upskill the workforce, and there's just so many different things you can do. We've worked with a lot of manufacturers to maybe rework the flow of their business, to rework workflow and things like that. And part of that, we brought in some incumbent worker training to help upskilling the workforce. And that's a really good program. And again, we pay 50% of that. It has to be eligible. It has to be approved. There's a bit of paperwork with that, but don't let that scare you off, because it's really a good value. Also, 50% of your, you can use this for 50% of your portion could be if you're going to allow the employees to do it while they're working. So say 50% of your portion of the upskill training that your employees need is, say, $30, because I'm bad at math. But let's say you have 15 employees making $1 an hour. You could apply that $15 to that, and then you'd even have to pay less than the 50%. You can apply the employees' wages to that. And again, that's a very, very good program. We help with hiring events. We're doing a drive-through job fair on August 11th with the Sauk Valley Area Chamber of Commerce. So if anybody's interested, get a hold of me. All you need to do is have 200 flyers or handouts or whatever it is. We're going to pack that in a package. People drive through at the mall and they get handed those packets. We also have some good resources in that too, like licensed childcare, things like that, DCFS licensed childcare for people. So we just have a lot of good programs that we can help people with. We can do customized training too, just to help people with specific issues that their business may have. We can work on that as well. But incumbent worker training is just a great training. We can also do something called rapid talent pipeline, where we figure out how to help you hire people. And we did this a couple of years ago with CNAs. A lot of businesses needed CNAs. And so we're able to help some businesses not only onboard more CNAs as well as with the retention. So that's a great program as well. And we'd be glad to help you with any business need. If we can't help you with that, we can probably find somebody that can. So again, just give us a call. What you talk to us about also is absolutely confidential concerning your business, because I know that's a concern and it's confidential. Does anybody have any questions about the business services we can provide?
Tammy, I do. Well, I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for right now, but referrals, as far as people go, sometimes I see people or know people that probably could really benefit from a program like this. Would I need to call, or would I just give them your phone number and have them call in?
Have them call me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, for example, too, even if people don't qualify for, like the work experience or whatever, we will still help them get jobs. We do that every single day. It's not just the work experience or OJT. And we do a lot of things like we have people who only want to work part-time. And let's say they're getting another source of income and they can't make too much, but they only want to work part-time. We also work with those people to help them as well.
Okay.
And it's a case by case basis. I'm very lucky in this job that I'm allowed the flexibility of evaluating what's going on to help our clients best meet their needs. Whether that be, and when I say clients, whether it's a business, whether it's an individual, whether it's bringing the business and the individual together, I feel very fortunate to be able to do that.
Well, I think you guys have a fantastic program, and we've been honestly just so lucky to have some great participants be a part of our team. And really just honestly, when I say team, they gave 100% and we were glad to have them. So it's just been an excellent program for us. And I think that this is a great place for people to really start thinking about adding more people to their team as well. The one question that I think I always get when I talk to people about the program is, what are some of the things that would qualify somebody to be able to participate in the program? I know you can't necessarily get every single specific detail of every situation, but just kind of some markers that we could look for and say, I think I would be able to recommend this person to join our team as a reverse referral.
Well, for example, if they're out of work through no fault of their own, say they're laid off, and we still have a lot of people who are currently laid off from when there was a massive layoff in March and April of 2020, they're receiving unemployment benefits, things like that. Have them come and see us. If they are economically disadvantaged, have them come and see us. And there are some other markers as well for the youth program that we can help you with as well. Again, it's a person by person process that we go through, and again to see how we can best help them. Again, that's something the career advisors that we work with do. Myself, Matt Gingrich and Shelley Zinke and I are in the Sterling office, so I primarily work with them. Sally Hanrahan does the youth program, so I also work with her a lot as well. And there's kind of different criteria between adults and youth, but I would say send them our way, and even if they don't qualify for that program, but they're looking for a job, we'll help them find a job.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that information. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, or any questions anyone has? Raise your hand if you have a question and we'll get to you guys. But anything else that you'd like to share in the meantime?
Just give us a call. We're in Sterling, and our office number will be on the information you get. I won't shout out our office number, but you can always call us. Somebody will always call you back. We have a very quick turnaround and response rate, which I am very proud of. And we would be glad to answer your questions, or even if you know somebody. And I want to tell kind of a funny story. We did a drive-through job fair in November at the Sauk Valley Food Bank. And so people were coming through on a parking lot pantry day to get their groceries. And a lady came through, and she had me come over to her car, and she goes, "Can I get a packet?" I said, "Sure." And she goes, "It's not for me." She goes, "It's for my neighbor's husband. He's not working and he needs to work." And I was like, okay. And so I gave her a packet. So anyway, long story short, he called and he goes, "Oh, is this?" And he thought my last name was Unicorn, because nobody can get my last name right. And he goes, "Is this Mrs. Unicorn?" And I'm like, "Oh, and anyway, he explained to me, and I figured out, oh, that's his neighbor. But anyway, we were able to help him get a job. So we're glad to help everybody. I just always thought that was kind of a funny story because he had not heard of us at that point. And I think her giving him the packet of jobs was helpful for him. So we will help anybody. I'm a very practical person, and we will help anybody any way we can.
Well, I think that's absolutely true. And that's what I've always heard and experienced. So I'm just so thankful that you were here to present to us today. Thank you so, so much.
One more
Thank
question.
you. We appreciate the opportunity.
Michelle,
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah.
One more. So August 11th, you said there's a drive-through job fair at Northland Mall. Is that where?
At Northland Mall, and if you want to participate in it, just get 200 of whether it's flyers, brochures, just pieces of paper. Take them to the Sauk Valley Area Chamber of Commerce no later than August 4th. And the packets are going to be done up ahead of time. And if anybody wants to stop out, I'll be there. Nicole will be there. A few people from my office are going to be there to help out as well. But yeah,
What are the
absolutely.
hours?
It is from it's from 11 to 2.
Okay.
And it's easy breezy for businesses because they just get us the stuff ahead of time. And all we do, in fact, I have an example of something that we just got. This is just a flyer. You don't have to have anything this fancy, but anything you have, just put that in there. And again, have the who, what, why, where, and when on there. We're also going to be, if you know somebody that misses the drive-through job fair, whether say they're out of town or something comes up, I'm going to scan all the flyers and everything, and we're going to be able to send out packets to people as well. So
How many did you say again? I'm sorry. I know you've said
200.
200. Okay.
Yep, 200 pieces of paper. Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask, is this information going to be posted on the chamber website as well?
Yes, I believe it is on the chamber website. I believe it's on the Bethany, is it on the Rock Falls Chamber website at this point, or are you?
The drive-through job fair.
Yeah, I thought you posted something.
We did a e-blast and a Facebook post, but I think Sauk Valley Area Chamber has it on their website since they're the
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
event partner with it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
No, I love the drive-through job fair. Those are awesome, and I heard some very positive feedback about the one in November for sure.
It was amazing. We partnered up with the food bank and we did that, and we were very, very happy with it because not only did people get food, and interestingly enough, what we found too is people who were coming maybe initially just to get the packets from me were like, do you need food? And a lot of people do need food. And Bethany and I had this conversation just last week. There's a lot of good resources for people who need food. So that was something that we were also able to direct them to a resource. We want to be a good partner with everybody in the community. And we also do a lot of referrals. So that was something that was allowed us to help people, who needed food, get some food too. Thank you very much, Bethany, Sam, Cheyenne, everybody. Thank you very much. We appreciate this opportunity.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. We were so glad to have you. And if you missed some parts of this program, we'll send out a link later and you'll be able to review, watch anything that you missed there. And you can see Cheyenne, she is working with Sam there in the other room and they're doing a great job. She's a great worker.
Hey, Cheyenne.
Proud of her. We just absolutely love how hard she's worked for us and what she contributes to the community through her job here is really impactful. So awesome. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. You're absolutely welcome to stay on and chat with Tammy, Nicole, or myself, or each other as long as you would like. But I'm going to go ahead and officially stop our program and then you guys are welcome to visit.
Okay. Thanks, Bethany.